Does your kid ever point to something and grunt and moan and try to say something to you, but they can't quite get it out? You're not sure what they want, and they have a meltdown, and then you have a meltdown, and you're both having a meltdown. Ah! You are not alone, because this is common. Everybody's brain works differently. Language is something that your brain develops over time, and speech is something else that your brain develops over time. What's the difference? What's the difference between language and speech? Speech and language are two different things, and your brain develops them at different times. Language is the idea of communicating ideas, and I can just point at something, and that's language, right? Because you get me if I'm saying, I want to go there, right? I can communicate those ideas. Speech is the part of the brain that controls the tongue and how you breathe to get the voices out, blah, 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 blah. Speech is all about how does the brain control the tongue and the lungs and the vocal cords to get everything to work together and make coherent, repeatable sounds. They're two totally different things. So your kids could have language skills way before they have speech skills. Everybody's brain develops differently. It's said that Einstein didn't have speech skills until he was 5. So this really isn't a characterization of your kid at all if they're a little bit older and behind on their speech skills. They just haven't developed that part of the brain yet. Okay, your kid probably won't be Einstein, but they will probably learn how to speak. But guess what? You can help stimulate that part of the brain to accelerate their speech and language skills. Developmental delays are just that. They're delays. It doesn't mean permanently you're stuck in one place forever. Everybody's different. You may have heard some people teach their kids sign language before they learn how to speak, and you can even see little babies communicating with sign language. Well, sign language is just another language, right? Remember when I pointed at something and it communicated something to you? Well, you can teach a baby to gesture, hey, I want to eat, before they actually say, I want to eat. Maybe you've seen little babies communicating with sign language. So what's up with that? How do these kids learn sign language before they learn how to speak? Well, remember, language and speech are separate. Sign language is just another language. It turns out, for just about everybody, the motor part of your brain, the part that helps you move your arms and legs and walk around and bump into things, that part develops before the part of your brain that teaches you speech skills. So it totally makes sense that you can teach a kid how to sign before they can speak. But teaching how to sign is pretty hard, and odds are you probably don't know how to sign either. So how are you supposed to teach your kid how to sign? Oh, you mean you can't speak sign like this at the Eminem concert? Yeah, it turns out nobody else can either. All right, so we're past that. Sign language, probably not an option for your kid, but I will show you what the pros use the most now. It's called a Talker app. Some might call it AAC, Augmentative and Alternative Communication. Big mouthful of vocab. Talker apps are designed so that your kid presses a button on an app and the device speaks for them. The tablet becomes their voice. Oh, so you're telling me my kid's gonna sound like Stephen Hawking? No, they don't have to. Now you might be thinking, hold on, if this thing's talking for my kid, is it gonna slow down their ability to learn how to speak? Actually, it's the opposite. There's a whole body of research that shows that kids who use Talker apps are faster at learning speech skills than kids who don't. The first step of setting up your Talker app is helping your kid pick their voice. And there's lots of cool voices, boys, girls, accents, British accent, whatever you need. There's lots of different voices to choose from. And your vocabulary probably is different from other people's vocabulary. Does your kid call your grandma Nana or Mima or Mama or whatever? Probably not Mama, right? It's probably not Mama. But whatever nickname, hopefully friendly, your kid has for your grandma, you should be able to just program it in there and make it. The cool thing about the apps is that you give visuals for your kids, so you can even take a picture of grandma, put it in there so that when they want to talk to grandma, they can click on grandma's face and the tablet will say grandma. So they can construct whole sentences like, I want to talk to grandma. Might sound more like I want grandma or something like that, or want grandma, because that's how language development occurs. You don't sound as good as I do on day one, let me tell you that. At the end of this video, I'm gonna show you Goldie's Talker app. That's the company I work for. But you might be thinking, all right, well, how am I gonna teach my kid how to use this thing? All right, well, it turns out we made an app for that too. And it's called Word Lab. We got this funny lady, she teaches kids how to do it. It's right there in the app, the first 50 words. Now you might be thinking, well, what are the first 50 words I should teach a kid? They all should be super functional. If your kid is just beginning with language, you really want them to be able to identify me versus you and toilet, right? Those are the important things, or hungry. So we want to work on the 50 core words that you need to communicate just about any big idea. Imagine you're dropped on an island somewhere. You don't know what the locals speak. If you can figure out these 50 words, you could probably navigate that scene safely. The company that I work for made this app called Word Lab that actually teaches your kids those first 50 words and shows them the symbols that they'll need to use in their talker. We also have the talker. I'm going to show you both of those.
Word Lab is one of the best language learning apps for kids who learn the meaning of words, whether they use AAC or not. Does your kid have a speech therapist? Show them this word game app. We already know they're gonna love it.
Hey little scientist, welcome to my super cool Word Lab. Help me build my amazing Talkomatic machine by tapping on a block.
Penny and Snowball encourage kids to practice and repeat new words by giving them stars for each lesson they finish. It's all based on science. Video modeling is done by real kids in age-relevant scenarios. Pronunciation is taught by a pro, and practice is fun and interactive. If you want the best experience, use a goalie-dedicated device. It acts like a complete iPad replacement built for kids. There are no web browsers, YouTube, or anything else that's distracting. Just Goalie. Like the app, you manage everything on your kid's device from your phone. Goalie is super simple and super effective. Try it for a month and see for yourself. No contracts.
My crazy colleague Kaylin is now going to talk to you about the Talker app. Here we go, Kaylin. Let's do it. You can do this.
Most AAC devices for autism and AAC apps for non-speaking kids are a snooze. I mean, how do we even know where to start with these things? What if I told you that you needed to learn a new language today and the only help you get is this manual and no one will be available for questions? Doesn't seem very fair, does it? So why do people expect kids to learn AAC this way? Ridiculous. Goalie made it as easy as it should be. Our Talker app is affordable, no health insurance required. It's easy to use and setup takes minutes. And it's fun to learn. Word meanings and motor skills are gamified. Ready to level up conversation but can't find a word? Model the path using the parent app.
Dinosaur.
Now, I know you're dying to take 40 hours of parent training a week, but Goalie would rather skip straight to the source and teach your kid instead. Here's the thing, you still need to get involved. Just don't make a full-time job out of it. Talk with them. You can download Goalie's AAC on up to 3 devices. Okay, let's see this thing in action. Goalie's Talker app looks like this. The 60 words on the homepage never move. Think of them like the keys on your keyboard. These are called core words. They're the most commonly used words in the English language. In folders, you can add custom words with your own pictures or symbols. Here we've added grandma, Miss Stephanie from speech, and a dog named Cat. Kids can tap words to add them to a sentence. When they tap the bar, Goalie will read the sentence out loud and then clear it.
I want to eat grandma.
You can easily customize settings like sentence clearing, your child's voice, words, folders, and more, all from the parent app. Set it and forget it. Make sure your kid always has access to their Goalie. You can download the app on any device, or you can lock kids into their language apps using our dedicated distraction-free tablet. Once your devices are connected to Wi-Fi, it will automatically download your kid's settings. You never have to take Goalie, aka your kid's voice, out of their hands. Oh, and I almost forgot. Remember when I said we're skipping straight to the source and teaching kids directly how to use their talker? Here's what we mean. You don't have to figure out how to explain the word want to your kid. We have a fun gamified lesson for every core word on Goalie's home screen. In Word Lab, kids help the animated characters, Penny and Snowball, build a Talkomatic machine with gamified practice by helping her find her missing word blocks. It's all based on science. Video modeling is done by real kids in age-relevant scenarios. Pronunciation is taught by a pro, Practice is fun and interactive. Goalie's AAC is super simple and super effective. Try it for a month and see for yourself. No contracts.
Do you like this video? Then give me a thumbs up. Do you love this video? Well, then subscribe. Do you hate this video? Well, tell me why. I'll try to do better on the next one.